Hello everyone. Today I will demonstrate how to do a C Programming Lab program using eBox. For that purpose I am taking Programming Basics modules 6th program Area of Triangle using Heron's formula as the example. I will demonstrate the complete cycle of typing the program, compiling it, solving compilation errors, executing your program, validating your program, and finally submitting it. After submission only your program will be considered for evaluation.
Okay, this program is expected to compute area of triangle given three sides of it and using Heron's formula. Okay, so first the beginning, what you have to do is you have to read the problem statement carefully. Basically, the description of the program and what is the input it expects, what is the output format. Those things you have to take care. Read carefully. Okay, once you understand that, you start typing the program. So as usual, your first statement will be, since printf and scanf is very frequently used, I'll zoom it for you. Where is it? Okay, zoom handle not working properly. Is it sort of readable? This text is readable. The code is readable.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So typically you will have a blank window, and you should start typing #include onwards. So for time constraint purpose, I will not type everything because of time constraint. So I'll just put the code there and what you should do typically. So these comments and all you can omit. So normally #include stdio.h, and this math.h is included because we have to use a mathematical function called sqrt for finding the square root. You must be familiar with Heron's formula for finding the area of a triangle given three sides. Okay, now first thing you have to do is read the problem statement carefully and what is the input format, what are the input provided to the program, and what is the output format. All those things you have to read carefully, then start typing your program. So you start with #include stdio.h, and at this point of time you don't know whether you will be able to use. Minimum you will use for any printf or scanf, we will use stdio.h. So that is almost every program will have stdio.h included. Now you start typing your int main and empty bracket, empty braces, opening and closing braces, and this is your canvas. As of now, nothing is there. Okay. Now you see what is your input format. You read it here. Input consists of 3 integer variables corresponding to 3 sides of a triangle. So the type of the variable also it says, and that way what you have to create now, you have to create 3 variables. So I create 3 variables. Okay, for storing the sides of the triangle, which is input to the program. Now after that you may also think, okay, I have to compute area, so I need an area variable also. So you can create an area variable. Then Heron's formula, there is a value called s you have to compute, right? A plus b plus c by 2. So my code, my sample input, you can see it is 5, 6 and 7. Sample input is 5, 6 and 7, and there is no prompting message. Enter the sides of the triangle. There is no prompting message. So if the sample input is simply number, there is no prompting message appearing before that, you have to give the scanf statement directly. Suppose in the sample input it is saying enter 3 sides, then you may have to enter printf, enter like that. But as of now in this program, such a prompting message is not shown in the sample input. So that you don't need to put a message here. Direct list, you start scanning. This is the same thing we have done with our addition program. Remember, first addition program we were not having any prompting message, directly scanf. That was the way it was. Later we added a printf message there. So this is accepting three numbers corresponding to the sides of the triangle. Then we have to compute. Next statement is the logic of the program. There are logic or the processing part of the program. This is the processing part of the program. S equal to a plus b plus c divided by 2. Then that will compute the value of s. And then area is equal to square root of s into. So this I can slightly break down. It's okay. It may be confusing for you. So I compute say int temp equal to not int, maybe since this is a floating point value, let it be float. Float temp is equal to s into s minus a into s minus b into s minus c. This is as per the Heron's formula, one part. Once this value is computed, we have to find the square root of this temp value. I pass it into sqrt function. Sqrt function comes from math.h. So if I have to use this function in my program, I have to include #include. I have to include math.h in my program. So I do include math.h. Okay. Now I have the result here. I can print the result. So this is what your typing part, typing the program for area of triangle using Heron's formula, or three sides are given. Any doubt with respect to this program?
Why we use float?
Pardon? Float. Because there is a division involved. So a plus b plus c divided by 2 need not be an integer. So if I use an integer variable, I will lose some data. Suppose a, b, c are say 5 plus 5 plus 7. A plus b plus c is 17. 17 by 2 is 8.5. And if I make the variable integer, 8.5 cannot be stored in an integer variable. So that is why I'm using it as float.
Thank you, sir.
Clear? Yeah. Now, if this is a float, S is a float, that means this computation also will can result in a floating point value. I don't want to lose any data. Say 8.1, if I store in an integer variable, 0.1 will be lost. It will be truncated to 18. So instead of that, what I'll do is I create a floating point variable and store this value. Once it is stored, I want to find the square root of this formula and this value. I call sqrt function, which is there in math.h, and pass the value temp as the input. As a result, I'll get the square root of temp, which is the area of my triangle. I print it. Okay. So this is how you will do normally with any program. You understand the problem statement, decide how many variables are required, input variables, then temporary variables or output value, variable for storing the output value. All those things you will get from here. And you have the format of the input and the format of the output. There is no message area equal to 14.70. Nothing is there. So some other program, there will be an input statement, enter 3 numbers. In that case, you have to put a message, printf, enter 3 numbers. Exactly same. Without, say, if it is given in capital letter, if there is a space in between, you have to follow it exactly the same way. Okay. Then output, there is no message like area of the triangle is 14.4. In that case, what you can do, simply print the output value. Okay. Now you have typed the
So what
program.
does that S stands for? Float S.
Which one? Float S. Basically, I'm creating 2 variables, S and area. Only thing is that these variables are for storing real numbers, decimal numbers. Here, this is for integers. These are for integers. So today's class, we discussed about data type. There are integer data type, character data type, floating point type data type, float and double. Same thing. I'm creating a floating point. Yeah.
In the 5th line, should we not supposed to consider float main? Since the
No,
output
no, no.
will also be
No,
a real
output
number.
means here in the main means what we are giving to the operating system. It is always defined as int. No,
Okay, it
output
must
of
be
the program
definitely
is
an
displayed
integer.
here. Yeah, output of our program is area which is float that we are dealing here. We are displaying to the user. This return statement is what we are giving back to the operating system. This is supposed to say what is the status of the program, whether it was successful or not. So we give an integer value all the time. Okay.
Okay,
So this int corresponds to this return 0. So return 0 or any non-zero integer. Okay,
yes,
that
sir.
is the expected way of doing it. So we don't change this to float main.
Okay.
Okay, now we have typed the program. What you have to do, saving will automatically happen. Once in every minute or 2 minutes, it will save automatically to the server. Or if you want to immediately save it, you can click on save. Now you have to compile your program. I demonstrate in the class. So I compiled and I'm getting so many errors. Okay. So when you will also get errors. So what you have to do is start from the beginning. Start from the top. Take one error at a time. So this is saying first line. This is first line says compilation errors. Generally for every time you will get this. And main.c. The file name, our program is saved as main.c in the background in the server. Okay, it says in main.c program, in function main, the error is there. Now it details the errors. The details of the error is given. So this is the file name main.c colon 12. This first 12 means in line number 12 there is a problem. And the second number indicates the column number. In line number 12, in which column? So say I can say this is the first column. This is the second column. Like that, this is, even though it is not visible, it is divided as columns and matrix. Your screen, your display is divided as rows and columns in the matrix fashion. So in 12th line, 16th column, there is a problem. That's what it is saying. And it is a warning. So there are two types of compilation errors. One is an error and one is a warning. In code blocks and all, many times you can ignore warning, but errors you have to solve. Then only executable file will be generated. In eBox, even warnings are strictly handled. Even you have to clear all the warnings for generating the executable file and executing it. So let's go to this first warning and see what the message says. Format %d expects argument type of int star, but argument 3 has type int. Format %d expects argument of type int star, but argument 3 has type int. Let me go to line number 12. And this is first argument. This is second argument. This is third argument. First argument will always be a string, I told. Your format string, it will contain %d space %d %d. And this is my third argument. And my warning is, in third argument, there is an issue. What is the issue here? Can anyone make out what is the issue here?
Ampersand has to be.
Yeah,
inserted
we have,
also.
when we are reading is individual values into a variable, we have to use ampersand. I have not used that. Now one error is fixed. I'm going to compile it again. This way you should also follow. You have to take the first error or warning, solve it, then compile it again. Don't directly go to the second error. Okay. Because while solving the first error, many times second error also may get solved. So first error, you fix it, compile it again. So that is gone. Now, in this case, my second error is not solved. Now it is showing line number 16, there is an issue. Error expected, comma, or semicolon before area. I'll go to line number 15, expected. So line number 15, what is the error? It has expected a colon or so I know that at the end of the statement, I should have a semicolon. So I put that semicolon. Okay. Now again, I'll compile it. Now compilation is successful. So when you type a program, generally what I want to say is when you type a program, you will get say 10 compilation errors. Don't get panic. Take the top one, try to solve it. After solving it, you compile it again. If it is gone, the next error will come on top. You take that one, solve it, again compile it. This cycle has to proceed until you have 0 errors and 0 warnings. And in code blocks, it will say 0 errors and 0 warnings. In eBox, it will say compilation successful. Okay.
Sir, for reading an array also we should take ampersand, no sir?
No, array means if it is a character array and you are going to read a complete string as the input, you don't need ampersand s. I mean ampersand. You can give array name directly if it is a character array.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Now compilation is done. What I have to do is I have to execute it at least once before proceeding to the further stages. Okay. So I'll execute my code. So when I'm executing, I'm getting the console here. So in classroom demonstration also, we got something like this. Here it is not doing anything. That means it is waiting for user to enter the data. So I enter some 3 values separated by space, which are essentially the sides of the triangle. After that, I press enter. So it's not showing me any result. So something is going wrong. Something is going wrong. We need to find it out. Ideally, it should give. Are you finding any issue with this program? Let's see. Yeah. So what the mistake previously I did was, I spent a lot of time after executing it. I was explaining, and so it gives you around 15 seconds to enter the data. Okay. If you don't enter the data before that, after that, it may not take it. So 15 seconds, I enter the data, I get some value as the result, area as the result. Okay. Now, since the sample input output not expecting any user-friendly message like area equal to, you also should not put that in your program. You should not put. Suppose your sample output is displayed in such a way that area of the triangle equal to, you have to repeat the string exactly that way. Since the sample output is not showing, you also should not put it. Okay. Now, after executing at least once, you have to proceed to validation. Okay. In validation, system will automatically input few test cases. Now, a test case means a set combination of input and the corresponding output. So, this is a test case now. 556 is a test case, and the test case input of the test case, and the output is maybe the correct output of that is 12.0. So here, when you do validate, the system will input a set of input values. System will provide in the backend some input values to the variables. The system will run this program, and automatically the input values will be entered for storing in the variable. And the system will check the output given by my program, the program I wrote, whether it is matching with the output expected by the system. Okay. Now, in validation, my program failed. So you will also get this kind of thing. Fail. Expected value is 6. Obtained value is 6.00 expected value. And the obtained value is 6.60. Basically, my answer is correct, but the precision in which I have printed the answer is wrong. So the difference is I have 4 extra zeros in my answer. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you have to use short F.
Not shortest. I'll come to that. Short is basically for integers. Now we are dealing with floating point number. Now only in the displaying part of my answer there is a problem. That means I need to, after the decimal point, I need to print only 2 digits, but I was printing 6 digits by default. So that is the issue there. So what I will do is in this format string, I can change it. If I put 0.2 or 0.2 f, instead of simply percentage f, if I put 0.2 f or 0.2 f, it will imply to the indicate to the printf that the area value should be printed with 2 decimal point precision. Okay, so this is a slight variation of our percentage f. Percentage f is used for printing a floating point value, and I need it with 2-digit precision. Now, after this correction, I can compile, or even I can directly validate. Okay. So now it says pass. So the invalidation is actually a minimal verification of your program. Whether it will give 1 or 2 test cases to check whether your program is fine. Program looks fine or not. So after all the validation test cases are passed, there may be more than 2 or some other program you will get more than 2 validation test cases or more than 1 validation test case. Maybe 2 or 3 validation test cases you will get. So after this stage, you can go and submit your program. Okay, after validation, the tracing is about some debugging. So if you are some logical error is there, you want to step by step execute and debug it. So as of now, it is not functional or it is not very useful. You can directly, after execution, you can directly go to validate. Copy and paste is basically copying a part of this code and pasting into another part of the editor. If suppose you don't want to, you have same code repeating in different places, you can copy and paste. Select it, copy, where you want to place the code, paste it. Okay, that also you will be rarely using it. Yeah.
So in eBox, it was not allowing us to copy and paste.
Yes, sir. eBox copy and paste is not there.
This button will work. If you try Control C, it may not work.
Yes, sir. Control CV doesn't work. The buttons work.
Buttons will work. Okay. So using Control C and Control V is prohibited. The keyboard combination. You can copy here from here and place the cursor where you want and paste it there. Okay. You will rarely use it. If at all, it will save your typing time. Otherwise, it is recommended that you type it to get a sufficient exposure.
Sir, we need it in the third program only, sir. It's lengthy.
Okay, there. Yeah, in the size of a variable or something, right? Yeah,
it is the ticket, sir.
You can use it. This one, this button, this menu item, you can use copy and paste. Now, okay. Now my validation test cases are passed. I can proceed to submitting it. You have to submit it finally after finishing all these things. Then only it will be considered for your evaluation marks. Okay. So I'm going to submit it. Your solution is submitted for evaluation. You will see the results shortly. Okay. Now it says the solution is passed only 80% of the test case. Okay. That means even though validation was successful, there was only one test case. But when we are submitting, there will be multiple test cases. And it says 80% is the pass rate. That means out of 10, I will get 8 only. That means at least one of my test cases is failing. Okay. So you also will meet with this kind of scenario, 40% test case passed, etc. So in that case, what you can do is close this one, close that window, and go to your previous submission. In the previous submission, it will show you what is the outcome, 80% pass, and how many test cases were there, total 5. Out of that, 4 has passed. Okay, and 1 is failed. Beside the failed test case, it is showing a question mark. That will take me to the input values provided for this test case. And what is the expected output value, and what is the output my program got, and what is the difference between expected output value, not the subtraction, that string, this is treated as a string, this is also treated as a string, the difference between both these strings. Basically, there is nothing common. Maybe 8 is common, but in different positions. Okay. This is what you are going to get. So for the passed test case, you will not get to see what are the test case. But anyway, they are passed and you don't need to worry. What about the failed test case? If you click on this question mark, you will get which test case is failed and what is the output expected, what is the output our program got. Okay, you need to correct this and get this test case also passed. Then you will get 100% pass and you will get a green color here. Okay, it is showing your program also. Okay, anyway, it is already here. In program also it is showing. Now what we have to do is close this window and go and see. Maybe I will execute once manually.
So that test case is for equilibrium triangle. The area for equilibrium triangle, the formula is different.
But Heron's formula should work for that also.
But why not working?
Yeah, why it is not working, we'll figure it out. That's what like debugging. So here there is no compilation error. Compilation error is not there, but we call this kind of errors as logical error. In my logic, there is an issue. Compiler, as far as the syntactical rule of the language, my program is perfect, but it is not giving the correct answer. So such errors are called logical errors. So there is a logical error. The other error we solved so far, they are called compilation errors. Okay.
So should we typecast a plus b plus c by 2 into float?
Yeah. That is what. So if I execute manually and if I give the same input, which was failing for me, all fives, I'm getting the same answer, same 7.48. But what is expected is 10 point something. That we saw, right? Now the problem here is, I'll explain you. This statement is the villain. Okay. These three variables are integers, right? A, B, C are integers. Now 2 is also an integer. Now whenever in mathematics, say my input is 5 plus 5 plus 5, 15. 15 by 2 is 7.5 is what we expect in mathematics. But in C program, it is not like that. It will depend on the types of the operands. Here for this operation, operands are A, B, C and 2 operands. And operators are addition and division. Now in C language, if all the operands are of same type, the result also will be of the same type, that type. Now
So
here
the result is in int. So how did it store it in float s?
Yeah, that will happen. That is called type conversion. So if you put an integer, try to put an integer into a floating variable. Say suppose this value was 8. Suppose this value was 8. When it is trying to store in a floating point table, it will simply become 8.0. There is no difference in the value, but it will become a real number. So there is an automatic conversion happening. Okay. Now in this case, since all the operands are of integer type, the result also will be an integer type. This RHS part. Now my failing input is 5, 5, 5. 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. 15 by 2, mathematically, even though it is 7.5, since in C programming, all the operands are of same type, it will become, result also will be of integer type. That means from 7.5, 0.5 will be truncated. And we get 7. When that 7 is assigned to S, after this RHS computation only, it will be assigned to LHS variable. So that 7 will become 7.0. Essentially, the value is same. Now we are going to compute the area using that S. So everywhere, instead of 7.5, we are using 7. And obviously, our result will differ. That is why I'm getting a wrong answer. So what we need to do is, we have to typecast it, or basically at least one of these variables we have to typecast it. As of now, we don't know, we have not studied what is typecasting and all. So for that, I use a small trick. I make it as a real number. Variable, I cannot make it as real number. This is invalid, but I have used a integer constant. So in that place, I can put a real constant. So I make it as a real constant. Okay. Now, these three operands are of integer type. This is of floating point type. In C, there is an automatic conversion. If one of the operand is of, say, floating point type is of higher precision and higher grade than integer. So if you have a higher grade data type, the lower grade will automatically convert to higher grade. So in this case, whatever numerator you get, it will be 15. It will be promoted to higher grade, that is floating point type. we don't get to see all those things. So to simply means if one of the operand is real number type and all others are integer type, the result will be of floating point type. Okay, so I used a small trick and the result will be now, S will be now 7.5 instead of 7. And the result will be S, using 7.5 as the value of S, the area will be computed. Now if I execute it, I give 5.
Can we also do float a comma b comma c?
Float a comma. Now the problem is that the input, we can do that, but here it says input is integer variables.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have to, the problem specification you have to stick to. Otherwise we can manage with that. Float ABC. Simply we are, say if integer is 2 bytes and float is 4 bytes, we are wasting memory. Okay, so if we want to use it, float ABC, here you make it %f, %f, and remaining things will be fine. Okay, but since the specification is integer, we will stick with that. So this is the small trick I used. Instead of an integer constant, I have used a floating real number, real constant. The other way is to convert all of this into, I executed here, I got 10.83. Other way is to convert the sum into a floating point value by explicit typecasting. This also should go, no expected expression before float. Okay, basically we are using C. So typecasting operator, this is C++ type typecasting, C type typecasting. Okay, don't worry about this. This is an alternate way.
So can't we use that float before the S in the 14th line?
You can use, still doesn't make any difference. Okay. Instead of declaring here, I can directly declare before using. But this also will not make any difference, because RHS is computed and we already lost 0.5. So whether 0.5 is, so it will always be 7 assigned to this. Okay, there are many ways to address this, but one is explicit typecasting. The other is at least one operand you make it as real constant. So the result will be of real constant. So I am still getting a wrong answer. So my simple trick is to, as of now, I don't know typecasting. So I'll make it as a floating point number. It will become 7.5. And using 7.5, my area is computed. I should get the correct answer.
So we can write that bracket float after the ABC by 2 also.
No. You mean to say float like this? I don't think you can use that way. Or you can make 2 as float. So you put typecast 2 into float.
Okay.
This is possible. Okay. This also should give you the correct answer. One of the operand you make it as a float, so that others are forced to be automatically converted into floating point type, and you get the answer. Okay. So since we have not covered typecasting and all, we'll simply go with doing it as. Now what I can do is validation. Anyway, I was getting a pass previously also. Now I can go and submit it again. Your solution is submitted for evaluation. You will see the results shortly. I get congratulations, your solution is accepted. Okay, I can go to next problem. That will take you to the 7th problem. 7th problem, yesterday I had already solved for this thing. Not much different. Now, if I go to my previous submission, it shows me the final submission I have. My first submission is 80% correct. Now my final submission is 100% correct. That means for this program, I get full marks. All my test cases are passed. So this is your target. For every program, you should try to get 80%, 100%. If the percentage is low, that means for that program, you get a lesser mark, and that will affect the final mark for programming basics also. Now, somebody will ask, like, say, first I'm getting 80%, 50%, then 60%, finally I'm getting 100%. Will my marks be affected for this program? It doesn't affect. How many times you are validating, submitting, that will not affect your program. What is your final score you are getting? That is going to decide your final mark for this program. Okay. So this is a typical cycle you will follow. You read the problem statement carefully, figure out the solution, type the solution, compile it, solve the compilation error, top to bottom, one at a time. Top to bottom, one at a time. That means solve one error, one compilation error or warning, compile it again, then go to the next. Okay. Then execute it at least once, validate. If all validation test cases are passing, submit it. If submission is not giving you 100%, go to previous submission, click on the question mark, you will get the test case which is failing. You analyze the program and see why for that test case only the test program is failing. Fix it. That means logical errors, you have to fix it. Then once you see that it is giving correct answer, submit it again, get it 100% pass. Clear? So I have almost answered, I almost covered all the aspects related to typing a program and getting the job done. iPractice and iLab and iApply will contain this kind of programming problems only. You will get a problem statement and you have to solve it. iAnalyze will have kind of very simple puzzles kind of thing. Code will be given, or at least 90% of the code will be given. You will have to fill one line or two lines. Such problems will be there. Otherwise, 100% code will be given in a shuffled manner. You will have to rearrange it. Okay. So, cleared most of your doubts?
Yes, sir. By when do we have to complete all of it?
You can do it. I'll keep it open. At least programming basics, I'll keep it open for another week. Before coming to next lab, complete it.
Okay, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, 1.5 also is an integer type, no, sir?
1.5 is a real number, right? In mathematics, 1.5 is an integer or what? Same mathematic concept only. Integers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Anything coming in between, it is a real number. Real numbers are like the two ways of representing real number in C. One is using float data type, one is using double data type. When the precision is very large, we'll go for double data type. If the precision is like smaller and the magnitude is also smaller, we'll go with the float data type.
Okay, sir.
So the last problem you solved was in which tab?
Which is this was in iLab 6th problem.
Okay,
iLab
sir.
6th problem. 7th problem, as the sum of two numbers is very simple. First program simply displaying hello world. You have to sample output is hello world. H is capital, W is there. There is a space. You have to exactly give this format. And since it is a simple format for program, they are not given validate. You have to just simply submit it. First program. Second program is about
So you
size
can do
of.
iPractice only second problem.
Okay. Yeah. iPractice. I think the same program is there. Is it? Hello world. The same program you can repeat here. Let me see. Where is my iPractice?
No, sir, I was saying, can you tell that one is this one?
Okay. Let me go to iPractice. Coding.
Sir, how to make the name bold, sir? In bold black color.
Where? Which name?
Sir, Patrick, same. Now what are you
No.
displaying
Don't. Basically, bold means that is the input you are giving. So in the sample input output, if anything bold given, that means this is what you have to type or the input you are giving. Okay, this is not that something you have to display. This is what you have to display. Okay. Now iPractice second program you want me to address. Somebody was asking me.
Yes, sir.
This is right. Talking Mickey. This program, right? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
what is yeah, you can mute yourself. So see, in the sample input, there is a prompting message. That means we have to prompt a message. So printf is anywhere required. Printf, enter your name. Enter your name. And colon is also there. So before colon, there is a space also. Again, you have to be if you are following exactly same, you will get full green. Otherwise, if there is a space missing, they'll show program is completed with 100%, but there is a presentation error. So such a warning kind of message you will get at the end. So this message is anyway required. Now, what it says, it has to, if you read the question carefully, you have to input a name. The input for the program is a name that you have to store somewhere and then display it with this string. Hello and followed by name. In this format, you have to display it. So since I have to store a name, I need to create a character array. For a single character, I have to create a character variable only. But since it is a name as such, I need to create a character array of some size. Here it says you have to create a character array with 50 as the size. This means the input name can at most have 50 characters. Okay. So it is okay to give 20 also if you are planning the name will be of 20 character size. Okay. So
Why can't we use string?
string is not supported by C. It is in C++. Okay. So we are going to use C compiler. So character array we'll be using for storing names. Now, so variable is created. Display message is there. Then we have to read the value entered by the user. For that, you have to put the scanf message, scanf statement. And for string, it is %s. When it is only one character, we'll use %c. But since it is string, we'll use %s. And the variable name. If it is single variable, we use ampersand. When it is a character array, which is a group of variables or a set of character variables, we simply give the name without ampersand. This is the convention. This is an exception. The norm is to use ampersand, but when it is an array of character type you are passing, and what you want to read is a string, not single character, you don't need to use ampersand. So we get the name there. Now we have to display it back in this format. Hello, Patrick. Suppose Patrick is the input data to the program. If Patrick is the input data, it should show hello, Patrick, welcome to Disneyland. If Harry is the input data, it should show hello, Harry. Some people, what they do is, okay, printf exactly hello, Patrick. Hello, Patrick. Welcome to Disneyland.
Hello name.
Yeah, some people do that. That's right. This is a wrong way of doing it. Some people do this. But this will not solve your problem. Every time it will show hello, Patrick. Okay. So if I compile, seems to be fine. So when I'm executing, it is showing enter your name. So I put Harry. Still, press enter. It is showing me hello, Patrick. Welcome to Disneyland. This is not what we want. So whatever name is entered by the user, that name should be addressed. So hello, Harry. Welcome to Disneyland. So what you have to do? You have to put the placeholder here. Placeholder, the format string, %s for string. And there is a exclamation mark after that. That also will put. And there is a space, etc. Now, since there is a placeholder, I have to give which variable has the name, has the value. So name has the value. When printf is processing it, this %s will be replaced with the value stored in this array. Okay. Now I'll compile it, execute. So I give Harry or Patrick, whichever name. So hello, Harry, welcome to Disneyland is coming. Okay. Now I'll create an error. Now I have executed it once. So I can now proceed to validation. Validation is giving me an error. So what is the error? Two errors are there. One is after Patrick, expected output has a space. I did not notice that. And in my this thing, I did not provide a space. So I had to provide that space. And now I'll validate again. So one error is gone. Space issue is gone. So the second error, there are 3 exclamation marks, but in the output I printed, there are only 2. So what I do is I go and correct it. Now I will validate. My validation is successful. Okay. Now before submission, I'm going to make a small change. Intentionally I'm creating an error just to demonstrate. So submitted. You will see the result shortly. Sorry, 0% test case. There may be only 1 or 2 test case or any number of test cases. My output string is not matching with the expected output. I can go to previous submission. It is showing there are 2 test cases, both are failed. Against first one, it is showing there. So for one test case only, it will show question mark at a time. If you solve this and test case 2 is still failing, it will show the question mark here. So I go there, click on the question mark, and it says expected output with the 3 exclamation mark and the obtained output with 2 exclamation marks. So I have to correct my program. So I correct it. I can directly submit it, or I can validate also. Congratulations, I got the program accepted. If I go to previous submissions, I get percentage 100%. But it shows something like PE. That means I got full mark, but it is accepted with some issue. That means there is some issue. It is a presentation error. So that we need to make out. In the presentation error means we have put some string, some additional space or some case is wrong. So this, even I don't get it, what mistake I have done. Maybe I'll try with this, removing the space from there. So PE stands for presentation error. That will not affect your score, but like maybe it affect your satisfaction. So I don't get Disneyland. Is there any mistake you can notice?
Sir, /n in the printf function after enter.
Okay. Maybe I'll try that. So it is implicit, not very explicit, this issue. Let's see if it is fine. Yeah, it is accepted. We'll go to previous submission. Still that issue is there. So /n is not solving my problem.
So you need a space after name, like before the colon. Printf, enter your name and then a space.
No.
Sir, before colon, you need to put space and also.
It was space was there. I removed it now. Maybe I'll remove this one and see. A space after exclamation. I'll remove that. So somehow you can get it correct. Still your mark is not affected because of the presentation error. If you get the 100%. Still there is some issue. Okay. Maybe some of you will be able to figure it out. Welcome to Disneyland. Welcome to Disneyland.
Sir, in the validate section only, they highlight the one which is wrong in red.
Okay, let us see. Yeah, that space additionally I added was required. Removed was required. Now here validation is not showing me any issue. So it is difficult for me to figure it out.
Sir,
Okay.
after the name thing, we should print hello, welcome to Disneyland in next line, like sample turned out.
No, sample input is in same line. Sample output is in same line.
The before line Patrick is in another lines.
Where is that?
First enter your name, next line Patrick, next line hello Patrick, welcome to Disneyland.
No. This is the input we are providing, not printing this message.
Yeah.
What is given in bold is the input. That is not the message you have to display.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
So maybe this issue may be in the validation happening behind. It may not be in my program. It may be in. So basically, as of now, since it is giving 100%, I don't need to worry about the score. This presentation error may be an issue with the validation code they have put behind the scene. Okay, don't worry about it as such now. So if they able,
Sir,
yeah.
And in third program, because I think it's somewhat lengthy, the compiler in the middle only it shows program terminated.
That may be. No. Maybe the
Yes, sir.
program you are writing will have a problem. Finally, there is correct answer for this.
No,
Okay.
I checked, sir. The compiler is showing terminated, but in validate, I'm getting the correct answer, and submit also I'm getting correct.
Okay. Thing is that this problem submitting also getting correct 100%, right?
Yes, sir.
That is because when you are executing it, it is showing terminated because it takes some time to enter. There is only 15 seconds or something allocated for this. So before that, if you are not able to enter the details of two persons, it gets terminated. In that case also, if it is validating and on submission, if it is giving for a correct answer, you don't need to worry about the execution part. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So when it is automatically tested behind the background, this time constraint will not matter. They will give in a fraction of second, they will give all input and it will finish in a fraction of second. But when we are entering data, say name, first name, then ticket cost of the first ticket number, then second ticket, again name, cost, etc. By the time the time allotted it gets over. That's why you don't need to worry about that execution part. Just execute once, then proceed. Even if it is not completed, you can directly proceed to validate.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I think that's it for today from me. Priyanka ma'am,